Sit down. 5, 4, 3.
I want to leave this in the video. Eric. Hey guys, welcome to episode 72 of Concentrated, the podcast about all the stuff we find cool and interesting as nerds of color. I am your host, Maria, and I wasn't sure who I was for a second. And I'm here with Eric.
72, episode 72.
My God. And Manira.
Hi.
Thank you for being the reasonable adult here.
You're welcome.
Also, we should probably totally include, I hope we actually include Eric singing us down to start. That was quite entertaining.
Go for it.
So today,
Don't deny the world these pipes.
oh my gosh. So today we are going to be talking about a holiday that many of you may not be aware even exist. But if you are a child of the 80s, especially, or the 90s as well, and definitely if you watched any Michael Bay movie in the 2000s,
Not to include
everyone,
Bad Boys 2.
No, we're talking Transformers.
Magnum opus.
Oh my gosh. You are familiar with the Transformers, and the holiday that you may not be aware of is that September 17th was Optimus Prime Day, in which we are supposed to be appreciating the leader of the Autobots. So today,
not to be confused with Amazon Prime.
not
Day,
Amazon Prime Day,
free shipping,
wrong day. You're
or
not
to be
getting
confused with Optimus's cousin from south of the border, Optimus Primo.
Oh my gosh. Right. None of those. Just the robot leader of the Autobots. So today we thought we'd take a little bit of time to honor the one that is Optimus Prime. But before we do that, it is time for Eric to do the news. I wasn't sure if we were doing it or not. We always do it.
I was yawning. Sorry.
She was yawning. I got some news for you. Guess what? Somebody did. And this one is kind of important. It's sad, but also very important.
Yes.
Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, also known as the notorious RBG. She is dead at 87 from complications of cancer, which is a bummer. And it's going to be even bigger bummer if you happen to look like, the 4 people that you're watching on camera right now. Right. More specifically, if you happen to be a woman or a minority. All bad things. Bad times, guys.
Well, or a member of the LGBTQ plus community. You know what I was trying to say.
Yeah. No, it's bad.
It's going to be bad for all of us, unless the Republican Party holds themselves to the same standard that they held the Democratic Party during Obama's administration, when there was a Supreme Court justice seat come up during an election year. Just saying. All right.
Anyway, she leaves a legacy of, helping out with human rights and, some landmark trials for the Supreme Court. But unfortunately, she does leave a vacancy that would allow the Supreme Court to sway very heavily to one side of the political spectrum. So this is a bummer, both for, people who looked up to her and for people who will be affected by this. So get out and vote in November, guys.
Yep.
We can say all we want, but if you don't vote, shit's going to get even worse. So,
well, worse for some of us. Let's be very clear.
If you look like the 4 people that I'm seeing right here, and a lot of people that don't look like us, but it's going to be all right for a certain group of people. I'm not going to tell you who they are, but you can guess.
Oh, it's a secret.
White people.
You
all right.
Caught up in that. White people.
Yes.
White people. White people.
You and me, we're on the same wavelength.
Eric is showing all the pipes today, man. Oh my goodness.
I still had Rock Band. Oh, be over. Anyway, moving along to better. Well, no, I'm gonna get the shitty news out of the way, and I'll leave the good news for the end. Okay. Shitty news: Black Widow is more than likely going to be delayed from its November release date and probably pushed until at least Christmas, but at worst sometime next year. They are also saying that the new Pixar movie Soul will likely debut on Disney Plus, kind of like Mulan did. So it'll probably be
I'm fine with that
at a premium.
All right.
I was really looking forward to that. So
Same.
If it comes to Disney Plus, I'll drop that. I'll eat that 30 burger. Yum, 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 yum.
Listen, I'd like to sit here and think that the Black Widow news is super shitty news.
Just release it. Just release it.
Like, listen, the movie was already too little too late because it should have been done before a whole lot of other movies. But now you delaying it even more makes me give even less of a shit about Black Widow, her sister, anything that's going on.
I give a shit about it pushing forward new things in the MCU post Endgame. So that's mostly what I'm looking for.
But will it though? Like, I'm not 100% convinced it will.
We have Taskmaster. I'm fine with that. Give me Taskmaster.
So what you're thinking is that at the end of the day, no matter what, if nothing else, it'll bring Taskmaster into the MCU, and we'll see him other stuff,
as well as some other characters. Like, I'm very interested in finding out, how close they keep Red Guardian to the comics version, and how close they keep her sister.
Yeah,
and some of the other characters that are kind of a secret, but not really a secret.
Mm-hmm.
But according to Disney, the other shows like WandaVision will still come out in 2020, and I believe Captain America or Falcon and the Winter Soldier will still come out in 2020 as well.
All right.
We also got a director for She-Hulk, which will be coming to Disney Plus.
Oh, that's right. It was one of the shows. Who's going to be directing it?
Well, we got a director, and we have casting. The rumor, which Deadline and Variety are reporting, they're saying that I'm probably gonna fuck up her name.
Tatiana Maslany.
There you go. Mostly famous for Orphan Black. Amazing show if you haven't watched it. She is up for the role of Jessica Walters, who is Bruce Banner's cousin. The director they're tapping is Kat Cairo.
Okay.
She is a very good director. I had her. Oh, sorry, my.
You're what? There's dead.
Did you freeze? Are you still there?
No, my tab closed. She's mostly a TV director, but she's done like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Mick, It's Always Sunny, Modern Family, stuff like that.
Oh, fun stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this sounds like this may be fun.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to with character like She-Hulk. Like She-Hulk, unlike the Hulk, she gets her powers from her cousin Bruce Banner, who needs to give her a blood transfusion,
right?
Because she doesn't get 100% of his, DNA in the blood or whatever. When she transforms, she still remains,
herself,
cognizant of who she is.
Yeah.
So it should be fun. I'd like to see this, and kind of a body horror, but not in like a horror way, like Burn type body horror.
I might need to go just check her out, because my understanding is that she's also on the new Perry Mason show. I've never watched Orphan Black.
She's amazing.
I've heard it's really good, but I've never.
Watch Orphan Black.
Not only does she play the character, she plays like 7 different characters, all with different,
and they're all very different.
Yeah.
So she is more than capable in this role.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
Again,
I was just gonna tap into my old lady and watch some Perry Mason.
My mom watched Perry Mason and said that she was a star, even though she had watched Orphan Black, and she was like, "What's going on with Tatiana?" And then Perry Mason came, and she was like, "Well, I'm watching," and she enjoyed Perry Mason. So,
yeah. Again, that is still rumored, very much like Jonathan Majors is rumored to be the star, who's rumored to be the villain of the new Ant-Man movie, but also they're saying that he's going to be playing Kang the Conqueror. So we'll see.
And you got very angry about that. You want to get some anger out here, or?
No, I just, because again, it is all rumor. No one has released a press release saying,
So wait a second. So is it still a rumor that Jessica Gao is going to be writing for the show?
No, that is 100%.
That is 100%. Okay, cool.
It's things like when they come to stars and who they're playing that are rumors. You can put a writer on a show and be like, oh, okay, we already knew that there was going to be a She-Hulk show, just like we knew there's going to be a Miss Marvel show and stuff like that. So if you say someone behind the camera or behind the typewriter,
it's not a big deal. Okay, got it.
But when you start saying, such and such is, based on a source, she'll be playing such and such, or Jonathan Majors will be playing such and such, because Kang the Conqueror is a big role, and it has to do a lot with time travel, and people assume, the quantum realm and time travel, everything they brought in Endgame, that he makes sense as a villain, which he does, but at the same time, let's make it official. Or, I go out of my way to make sure people know that that's just a rumor. Just like Rosario Dawson showing up in the Mandalorian season 2 is still just a rumor. Until I see her on screen, or I get a press release from Disney saying, oh yeah, Rosario Dawson is playing Ahsoka Tano, I don't fucking believe it.
I do think it's a good casting, though.
This is very toned down from what we got on our Lovecraft podcast.
Again, it's just, I'm not even a journalist, but it's some type of journalistic integrity.
Well, no, you kind of as a podcaster, you kind of are a journalist now. Well,
I'm no Walter Cronkite, but I agree with people.
Walter Cronkite, you're not, but
tell you the motherfucking news. This is the news.
Right, but that's my point. That as a podcaster and as a podcaster that has some, ethics and integrity, you're doing exactly what you're supposed to do, which is to not push rumors unless you're clearly saying this is a rumor.
Yeah, I'm not reporting it as fact.
Got it.
In fact, Jessica Gao, Kat Cairo, or Corio they're involved with the show. Tatiana Malaysia, maybe.
Maslami.
Wrong? Maslami? Okay.
Although I did like that.
Maslami. There you go. Maslami.
Maslami.
My salami. Got it. Okay.
Not my salami. Jessica or Tatiana, we're very sorry about that.
Moving right along.
Yeah, next story.
Okay. I got good news, bad news.
Bad news first, always.
Well, no. The story is good news, bad news. And it pertains particularly to you. I'm going to point that way because that's the way you're pointing, on my camera. We got the news that there is a new Harry Potter game coming out. It's not Harry Potter. It's called Hogwarts Legacy.
Yay!
It will be coming to next gen consoles, and it is about students at Hogwarts in the late 1800s.
I'm very excited about all of this. So what's the bad news? Wait a second. What's the bad news?
The bad news is that buying the game basically puts more money in J.K. Rowling's pocket. The good news about that, though, is she is not directly involved with the game, so it'll be 100% original story, which I know is kind of a big thing when it comes to Harry Potter because she's kind of the approving source. But she's not writing for the story. But again, she's a terrible person and has been outed as a terrible person recently, and paying for the game will put money in her pocket.
Okay. And listen, I will own this 100%.
Not to mention, just AAA developers putting out games are known to not be the best to their employees. So it's kind of bad on top of bad for a good thing. So
this is what I'm going to say. I'm going to leave my woke hat on for just a moment. And yes, good day. And just say that in general, this is the problem with consuming any video games damn near at this point. Most of the game developers have incredibly horrible
they're super bad at it.
Yeah, like employee treatment. It is almost as bad, if not technically as bad, as sweatshops in other countries that we're always complaining about. If you want to know more about this, you can just go on YouTube. I mean, Vice has done specials on this. There have been multiple outlets that have talked about the toxicity in the game development.
Video game crunch time.
Yeah.
And I look at and read those stories about developers not seeing their families and sleeping
for weeks and months on end. It's pretty horrible. And then once the game is done, literally just being fired.
Pretty much.
And a lot of times
will happen with this game a lot.
Yeah, with no severance. So in general, being a gamer of any type means that you are continuing to contribute to the abuse of game developers or the staff of these game developing companies. That said, the entire industry needs to be cleaned up. And I personally, and I might take some shots for this and I stand by it, I want it to be completely cleaned up in general and discriminating between what game I buy, unless you're giving me, like, you know how they have the 100% fair trade label on coffee, so you're not buying coffee that was picked by kids. Until video games get to the point where they are doing that, it doesn't pick your game. It's all the same thing from that perspective. The second thing is, fuck J.K. Rowling. I hate her for creating this world that I love, but being a garbage human being in certain aspects. The only reason I think that I would still be okay with buying the game is because the one good thing about this horrid person is that she does continue to give the vast majority of her money to charity. So me giving money to something that she does at this point, is it making her richer? Yes, technically, but I also know that she is one of the few in that position to be incredibly generous with her money to a lot of good causes. Clearly not all of the causes that she should be okay with giving to, but still to some good causes. So I'll feel bad about it for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to enjoy playing the game.
Well, I know a lot of people have brought up the suggestion that, if you feel bad about it, maybe make a donation to, a trans visibility group or, something that helps trans youth. So
I love that idea. I would have no problem taking exactly what I spend on the game and donating that exact same amount to one of those charities.
A lot of people have made that suggestion.
Yeah,
if you're gonna do that. Make a donation of what you spent to a charity that supports trans youth. But yeah, that game is coming out next year, so it's an open world kind of RPG based. It's being put out by Portkey Games, which is the same company that makes the game for the phones.
Which I'm still playing.
Yeah.
And I think I'm the only one in this group. And I'm okay with that.
No, listen, it was getting ready to come back onto my phone, and then I got a Switch and started playing Lego Hogwarts or Lego Harry Potter. And also right now my newest obsession is Pokemon Shield. So when I take a break from that, I would definitely go back, because to me, I thought that the Harry Potter phone game was better than Pokemon Go. Like a lot better.
I never played Pokemon Go.
Oh, see, I did play Pokemon Go, and the Hogwarts game is much more engaging. It makes you want to open it up and play it every day. I stopped playing it just because I got logged out and couldn't remember my password and didn't want to start over and got pissed off. And then I remembered my password and it was like,
I had to start over. I was at 45 and now I'm at 30. Yeah, I know.
Oh,
it's okay. I went through and cleaned out all of my Facebook stuff, and I forgot that it was attached to my Facebook account. So now it's not. Now it's attached to another account.
You're welcome, Portkey Games. All right. Any other news?
Yeah, just the last two quick good news stories. One, Harley Quinn has been renewed for a third season on HBO Max. So,
yay!
We all enjoyed Harley Quinn. And two, The Mandalorian won 5 Emmys the other night, so that's good. So did Watchmen. Watchmen won a bunch of Emmys.
Yeah?
Yeah. The Watchmen won 4 Emmys.
All right. And then it comes on tonight, right? Well, Sunday.
Wait.
Or was it last night?
What, the Emmys?
Yeah.
I think it's tonight, yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe I don't know. I never know when the only show that I know when it airs is like the Oscars, and even then I still don't really watch it live.
Rick and Morty won an Emmy too. I was excited about that. They deserve that. Oof. Apparently Eric's dogs do not like Rick and Morty, or are very unhappy that Rick and Morty won some Emmys.
Fans.
No, they won an Emmy for the Vat of Acid episode, which is probably their best episode, next to the Imagination Train.
I would say the Imagination Train, I think, might to me be their, well, I can't say. I love Rick and Morty. I think there are a lot of really, really good episodes. They have very few throwaway episodes. But if one of them was going to win, the Vat of Acid episode was definitely, a really good episode. Cool.
And that's my news. So, boom.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was. You mixed in a little bit of sad.
I tried to end on a happy note. You know,
I like this. I
getting good awards and being renewed.
Yeah, I think that moving forward, you should either ensure that you find a feel-good story to end your news with, or fabricate one. Either way, just something good to end with.
Don't let her tell you how to do your news.
CNN and Fox News fabricate stories all the time.
Don't fabricate any news.
Scientists say that clouds are made of candy. That's news. Science, people.
It's science.
Yeah.
No, Manir, you're not here for the candy clouds.
No, because I actually believe in science.
But listen, but if candy clouds exist, then Candy Rain the song makes a lot more sense. You can sing it all the time.
No, because I know that rain is not candy. I know that it's a lot of other things. But also, then how are they cleaning it off of the airplanes? Because you go up in the clouds and they're not sticky. The airplanes don't look sticky. See, it doesn't work.
They didn't say it was cotton candy.
That's the other side of the story. That's the conspiracy. Open your third eye.
What? No, I have a third eye, and it doesn't need to be open for this.
Google it.
No.
I don't have to explain it to you, lady. Google it.
You don't have to mansplain it to me either.
Ooh, that
good day,
just,
my lady. Good
that
day.
Just
I will tip my fedora to you. Good day, my lady.
Yeah, well, you can tip it and be wrong at the same time. That's fine.
No.
All right. Well, moving right along. Before Michael Bay, stocked up on enough explosions to like literally destroy several Death Stars in the movies called Transformers, you got to go all the way back to 1984 when the cartoon first premiered.
I was a baby.
I would say, yep. Everybody on this call can feel old right now. Well, yeah, wait.
Well, not you two. I was an actual baby. You two were here already. I mean, you were.
Bitch, I was a baby.
Right, but I was like a smooth baby, like,
like straight out the womb.
Yeah, straight out the womb. You guys were like not new babies. You guys weren't fresh. I was a fresh baby. Because I'm young.
Wow. Okay.
What? You said the year. Look at Eric. He's trying to think like, was I a smooth baby? You weren't.
I mean, I would have been. I would have been. Not
you were a
toddler.
Yeah, you would have been a toddler.
I was a whole baby.
I was already in elementary school. In the lower grades, though.
You could have just said you were a toddler. You didn't have to put yourself out there. You could have been like, I too was a toddler.
Yeah, and then somebody would have written in the comments, you a damn lie. You were not a toddler in 84.
That bitch
you don't
old.
know, right?
So listen, so the series started with an origin story about how the Autobots and Decepticons, which are the two Decepticons, the two robot factions, ended up on Earth and starred the voice talents of like Casey Kasem, Don Messick, and Frank Welker. It was always just one plot line away from damn near being a Scooby-Doo episode. It was incredibly hokey and campy. It made no sense whatsoever when you really think about it. But you had a generation or two that fell in love with this cartoon that spawned toys that were easily broken if you tried to transform them in the wrong way. Knockoffs like the GoBots, Michael Bay movies, and just recently, as we watched, in preparation for this episode.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I don't know if the news got to you guys, but the Surgeon General has put out there that if your parents bought you GoBots instead of Transformers, they didn't love you.
Oh no, that's fact. I mean, that is science. We all know that. If you got GoBots instead of Decepticons, or if you got GoBots instead of Transformers, no one loved you.
Yeah. Something real. I got so scared.
If your parents bought you GoBots, they were like, ugh, we didn't go through with the abortion, so get them some fucking robo toys.
In the world we are living in, you cannot do, I don't know if you all know this or not, if the news hit you yet, don't do that.
It's fully real news.
I love it.
Check with Ben Carson. He'll tell you.
So Optimus Prime, for those of you who obviously live under a rock, is the leader of the Autobots. And as I said earlier in the show, has gotten a whole day dedicated to him. And, you can celebrate it by watching the old cartoon. You can go on Netflix and watch the new one. Do what you may, but we decided we wanted to take a little bit of a deeper look at Optimus Prime as a character. On his celebration episode. And I want to start by just saying that now as an adult, Optimus Prime isn't who I thought he was. And so
sanctimonious ass bitch.
Eric, do share. Why would you feel that way?
Especially watching this show. Hold
on, when you say this show, for our listeners and our viewers,
Transformers War for Cybertron Chapter 1, which is on Netflix. Siege, super fucking long title for one. Just call it War for Cybertron Part 1.
Or Part 1.
No, there's it's literally the whole title is Transformers War for Cybertron Chapter 1 Siege.
Mm-hmm.
That's too much. You're doing too much.
Well, it is a lot.
They want to let you know that, there's more coming. So
it's going to be a 3-part series. You could have just called it season 1. Don't. Oh, no. I'm sorry. The whole title is War for Cybertron Trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So they let you know it's going to be 3 parts, but you're only getting the 1 right now.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not. Here's your 6 episodes, you fucking nerd.
Yikes.
It was a lot. thankfully the series so far, I watched the first part and it's only 6 episodes and they're 22-minute episodes, so it's mercifully short. But just Optimus Prime being a sanctimonious ass, like, oh, I'm Robo MLK, so we'll stop this war.
It's not merciful enough. I don't know if I don't like cartoon. No, I like cartoons. I just don't think I liked this. Yeah,
Well,
no, that's what I'm going on. I didn't like
There's
this.
an anime on Netflix, like,
And I like anime. That's this
it
was
reminded me, but in a better way, of the last Netflix anime we watched, King and Ashura.
Yes, I didn't want to say
Don't
that,
you
but
come
you are
for
right.
my bad baby.
No,
But you're right.
No.
It is a prettier version.
Yeah.
It's CG, but like in this format where they're robots and they're supposed to be boxy and move kind of weird, it works. Whereas
Yes.
like in Ashura, they looked all weird and their heads didn't match their bodies. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This works, and I have to say, from a visual standpoint, it looks great.
Yes,
Like,
it is very
Mhm.
pretty.
when they do the close-ups, you can see like the metallic textures are all
Mhm.
scratched up, and
Mhm.
the holes. Like, they've been fighting this war for a
Right.
while, and shit's not great for anybody. And I don't know if Energon is like food or it's energy, but like some of them are dying of Energon and not having
Dude,
enough Energon.
Okay, whoa, stop.
I remember Energon from the
You're-
cartoon, and
yeah,
it was energy.
I'm about to say,
Like,
yeah, and
they
they're
talk about it
fucking
like it's food.
robots. Well, it is for them because they're
Right.
fucking robots.
Nobody
Eric,
in the
come
80s
on.
I didn't see Bumblebee with a big old bowl of Energon. just running around.
Well, it doesn't
That's
taste
not
good.
how they right. That's
It
not how
is
they get it.
inserted into them the
Right.
same way you would insert a disc or a chip.
Yeah.
It is inserted.
Yes, I just open my mouth and insert my Energon.
You do, fat
Well,
ass.
no,
I've
for
seen
you, it's
eat.
food.
Delicious Energon.
It's their form of food.
Well, then where do they insert it? Because some of them don't have mouths.
Up their ass, Eric. That's where it goes.
No, I
Jesus.
always thought it was their chest.
Soundwave
What are we
didn't
doing?
have a- or Shockwave didn't have a mouth. His head was a big old like.
Oh my gosh. Okay, wait a second. So it's clear that any energon is ingested in a non like orifice type of way. They're not putting it in
Your face. Fix your face.
they're not eating it. They're not shoving it up their asses like suppositories. You know, to
No.
Manira's point, they probably have a chest plate or something that opens up and you
Yeah.
insert little energon cubes like batteries. Think of energon as batteries. Batteries for giant fucking robots.
That's how I always thought of it.
Yeah, we're come on, Eric. Are you serious?
I should not have to read the Wikipedia page to know what the fuck Energon is.
I didn't.
Wait, did you read the Wikipedia
No, I read a
page?
little bit of the Wikipedia page.
You're so
I was doing research. I was also kind of disappointed.
Nerd.
They have Optimus Prime, but for it happens every now and again. But I figured for something like this high caliber, they would have gotten Peter Cullen, who did the original voice of
Mhm.
Optimus Prime, to come back and do the voice.
Mhm,
He did
mhm.
not, and they got a guy who's kind of doing a sound-alike job, who is okay sometimes, and sometimes he sounds like he's like one of those fake movie trailer guys on the internet. Who's trying
Yes,
to
I
sound like
hated
a
his
movie
voice.
trailer guy. Yeah.
I hated his voice.
Yeah, he was doing the Inner World, but Optimus Prime bullshit. Also, you guys watched it. Does Wheeljack have like robo cancer? Because every time they talk about Wheeljack, they're like, "Oh, well, I can't work on you," and "Oh, you've seen better days." And like Optimus Prime even mentioned, he's like, "Yeah, he doesn't have many cycles left." I was like, "Is Wheeljack sick?
I mean, I think he's sick.
Maybe he's just old and beat up,
Is
and
Wheeljack gonna die?"
so maybe he's gonna die.
I mean,
Okay, here's what
spoilers
I'm
for
confused about.
season 2.
This is one of the things that I feel like the cartoon, the original cartoon, didn't really do a lot of, but this new
Murdering people?
cartoon, no, this new cartoon is alluding to it and it's throwing me off. You're robots. You don't like you don't die. You power down because you don't have energy, right?
Here's
But
one
this
more
whole
story.
like life or
Why,
death thing.
No. Okay, I have a whole page of notes over here to my right, your left, that are just weird things that I came up with while watching the series. And one is, do robots have lungs? Because when they're running, they get exhausted, like they're physically panting for breath. You don't have lungs. Some of you don't even have mouths.
That's a good question. I would add to that. Is the technology on Cybertron so strong that you guys feel pain? Because I forgot which one got blasted. It was either in the first or second episode when they got ambushed. and you see them on the little trolley, and literally like half of his side is missing, and he's like rallying around in pain, like and I'm thinking to myself, but you're a robot. Can you feel that?
When Jetfire cuts off Starscream's hand.
Yeah.
Like, you're a robot and you got a new hand like the next scene.
Right. Did you really feel that? So there are definitely some plot holes in how we understand these sentient robotic beings.
Maybe this isn't for us because we're really picking it apart. Maybe it's for children still.
I don't think so, because if you listen to the dialogue, that didn't sound like dialogue for children.
Yeah. Should children have to deal with Starscream's blatant racism and eugenics?
He's not wrong. He's not wrong. And I think
about mixing races. Like, I think Starscream is pro-segregation, you guys.
I don't think you're wrong. But listen, that's kind of how I want my Starscream, right? Because everybody knows he's a complete horrible being in general. So if they just up the ante a little bit, I'm good with it. But to your point, in 2020, I would not have expected that being
a children's show.
Yeah. Well, if this, but again, how is this a children's show when you're showing like robots half blown up? Like, even when we were kids.
Robots.
Well, yeah, but think about it.
Sorry.
But think about it. Like, when we were kids, the cartoon initially, like, it was like G.I. Joe. You would see lots of laser fire, but no one actually lost parts or died. And in this cartoon, they were like, nah, we murking these motherfuckers.
As soon as you turn it on.
All right. Death of the robot. And then the other thing is the dialogue to me.
Oof, don't do
this is not for children. I mean, it's not for anybody, honestly, because the dialogue is lame. But like, if I were to put my 10-year-old hat on and listen to this show, I would not understand what the fuck they were talking about half the time, or I wouldn't get it. You know what I mean? It was just like, oh yeah, they're trying to get away. Well, no, there's a lot more going on. They're not actually trying to get away. Like, Optimus Prime is a complete idealist and extremely self-righteous. And he's like, well, if they're going after what's the damn thing that they were going after? The
Allspark.
Yeah, the Allspark. If they're going after the Allspark, we have to go after the Allspark. Or you could just get the fuck off of Cybertron. How about that? Maybe that's an idea.
No, you gotta get that Allspark.
Has been the fucking MacGuffin amongst Transformers for decades.
Yeah. And I feel like I never realized how fucking pretentious and self-righteous Optimus Prime is until I watched this new show. And then after I watched it, I went back and I kind of watched a couple of old episodes of Transformers. And I was like, no, he's always been this way. Like,
very much
I think that's just leaders in general.
Yeah, but leaders aren't always that way. At least not the really good ones.
Annoying Leonardo.
Yes. Yes, that is a very good way of looking at it.
Everyone knows it. Again, a message from the Surgeon General. If Leonardo is your favorite Ninja Turtle, you're a cop.
What are you doing?
It's the facts. I don't make it up. These are facts.
I'd like you, Maria. This is your doing, because you said make some things up, make it glossy. That's what you said that.
Now this is what he's doing.
Yeah. You said fabricate it. It's fine. People do it. And now he's doing that.
It's true, though.
Oh, listen, I think that there were a couple of things that stuck out to me outside. I think Eric said it at first, that if Optimus Prime on this new show is just like robot MLK, then that makes poor Alita 1 like Coretta Scott King. And I'm like, what is going on with this relationship?
She deserves better than following Optimus Prime's bitch ass.
She deserves better wording in her script. Sorry, not sorry.
And there's also that robot genders.
Right.
You're robots. Because like when RC shows up towards the end, I'm like, why does RC still look like a weird, like sexy robot, but all you guys are big box people?
We're just gonna keep going.
That seems like robo-sexism.
Well, I mean, there was definitely robo-sexism for me off the break. Why are all of the female robots significantly smaller? Like, why can't Alita be a big ass RV or a 747 jet that when she transforms, her and Optimus can see eye to eye and he's not standing like 4 feet over her.
Yeah.
Why is there no robo body positivity? You have to smash the robo patriarchy.
I agree with Eric.
Don't.
And you know who's perpetuating it? Optimus fucking Prime. Optimus Prime is perpetuating this self-hate and robot negativity when it comes to their bodies.
I mean, I feel like he's a douchebag, but I don't know that he's perpetuating it. Like, I think we've gone a little too far. Eric, stop looking like that.
All right, you're probably right. We've gone a little too far, but I think what we haven't gone far enough on is the fact that Optimus Prime is not actually a good leader of the Autobots.
No.
Like
I know. I want to say, Megatron. I wanted to say Megatron, and that's from an old meme about being a Negatron. Sorry. Megatron, he's a dick. But at least in this show, they're like, oh, well, I'm not 100% evil. I just want things done my way. I think I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously, he's wrong. But at the same time, like, Ultra Magnus goes to Megatron, and he's like, hey, let's work this out. And he was willing to listen until Ultra Magnus sent a secret message. And he was like, all right, well, fuck you then, Ultra Magnus.
Right. I think I feel like the thing here is that they did a great job of making Megatron like the fascist archetype that, like, you know, I want things to be the way I want them to be, but I'm really doing this for the greater good.
Yeah, it wasn't like classic 80s cartoons where it's like, I'm the bad guy because I'm so bad.
Right, and I just have power. Like, there's reasoning. He truly believes that what he's trying to do is going to be what's
greater good shit. Yeah,
right,
right. And some of it comes off as very Nazi-ish.
Yes, definitely on Megatron's side.
Like Starscream, yeah.
Yeah, but the problem is that Optimus Prime is the exact opposite and symbiote at the same time. Because he also comes across very self-righteous. The greater good as he sees it is the only greater good. And, you know, he's looking for freedom, and I'm trying to make sure everybody's free. But are you? Because you're
not giving them the freedom to live the way they want.
Right.
Optimus Prime is post-World War II America.
Oh my gosh. The Transformers are an allegory for the World War.
Yep. And Optimus Prime seems like the kind of guy who would tell you constantly, like, yeah, we saved your asses in World War II, you dumb Frenchies.
Do it this way.
Frenchies.
Do they have countries on Cybertron? Anyway, we'll get more into that.
Movies, they have different accents.
We'll get into
Eric's
more
like,
of that
in my notes, they do.
I do have that in my notes.
But I think that's the thing. And it's funny to me because, again, this is a character we've all grown up with, that like you just Autobots good, Optimus Prime, you know, the best leader. I think that I think that there are other Autobots that I think would have made better leaders for the Autobots than Optimus Prime. And it's like, also, did he get to be the leader because he's like the biggest fucking Autobot?
Yes.
Like, because that's what it kind of feels like, doesn't it?
Well, that's why they have them. Well, to Eric's point, that's why they have everyone in different sizes, and no one's really bigger than Optimus Prime. So,
well, except for the Dinobots. No, they were the same size.
Well, okay, I'm going to jump ahead to the end. Why do they have the Guardians on the planet? The Guardians are fucking, like, in the cartoon, they were basically the city Transformers that turned into a whole city. Why didn't they step in and stop this whole war? You guys are fucking 12 times bigger than everybody else.
That's not their job.
Step on fucking Megatron.
That's not their job.
He pops up and says, for Cybertron. Your job clearly is to give peace on this planet. You're not doing dick about it. You're just sitting on the side going, oh no, we're not going to get involved today. Fuck you.
Well, they're not going to get involved today, Eric.
No. I thought the Guardians were like metaphorical. Like, you couldn't see them, and they were like the avatars of the past and Avatar. No, they were legit sitting back there not doing shit while the planet fell to ruin. Fuck you, Guardians.
It's not nice.
No, fuck them. Fuck their planet.
I mean, you're not wrong.
They were robots in disguise because they were fucking hiding from that fight.
Okay.
Yikes.
Right. Okay.
You know, you would never think listening to us that we actually love Transformers and love this as a cartoon as kids, but just some of the inconsistencies like you can't ignore. Like what?
Sorry to shit on you on your day.
Nah, that's exactly. He needed to be shitted on. He's not as great as he thinks he is.
Maybe if you're more like Amazon Prime, you'd be more useful.
I just think they need to tone down.
He wouldn't have my package to me on time either.
No, he would do side missions. You would
He
never
would.
get it on time.
Stupid Optimus.
Okay. Okay, you don't actually have a package that you need right now.
Right? Why are you?
Optimus Prime is bringing it to you.
If
Don't
he
act
did,
so
he'd be
angry.
He'd be late and be like, "Well, I stopped to save a kitten from a tree because I'm Optimus Prime." And that's
He
what I
would do that.
Good day, madam.
You're like, I'm a sir. All right, whatever.
Hey, your Transformer sounds are pretty good though. I'll give you that.
Oh, I know that, obviously, but Optimus Prime would misgender me on purpose because he's a dick.
Okay.
Damn.
He seems like a boomer who doesn't understand like LGBTQ stuff, and he would like, oh well, she was born a woman, she's a woman. Like, fuck you, Optimus Prime. I'm putting a lot on Optimus Prime, but
you are.
His age,
but I think it's a little bit fair. I think it's a little bit fair because I really struggle with the benevolence with which he operates.
Yeah.
Like, even at least watching G.I. Joe, you knew that some of the leaders within G.I. Joe didn't have all the answers. And you saw that controversy, right? And them trying to figure out the best way to deal with Cobra. It's like with the Transformers, it's like, nope, whatever Optimus Prime says, like, that's what we've got to do. And you just need to fall in line and trust Optimus. Who the fuck is checking Optimus? How do you know he still, has everybody's best interest in mind?
Ultra Magnus was checking him, and then he was like, I'm going to do this for the greater good, and maybe Optimus will fall in line. He didn't. And he got Ultra Magnus murked.
Mm-hmm.
Also, one of my notes here clearly says, Ultra Magnus is kind of a bitch.
Wow. Okay. Would you like to elaborate on that note, sir?
He's just being a real bitch.
No.
Ultra Magnus.
No.
Ultra Magnus punched one guy out, and then he was like, I'm going to put on a hoodie. Whatever. I'm going
that I was very confused. This is a planet made of metal. Everything is metal.
Where'd you get fabric?
That's exactly when he came into like Megatron's like high Megatron assembly, because that's what it was. It was a Third Reich assembly, right? But when he walked through and he's got like this cloth that he's wearing as like a hood and cloak, I instantly
like
was
like he didn't want to get
and I was like, but where did the fabric come from? I'm very confused.
Made of metal that shouldn't have an atmosphere. It's a lot.
You guys really delved deep, didn't you?
I did. Like I said, I watched all of these in a single sitting, and as I did it, I was taking notes, so I had a lot of notes.
Yeah, I mean, and I think too the hard thing is with this new one where they're going back to Cybertron. Some of it even seems more believable when they're on Earth, which is insane in and of itself that you would have giant fucking robots on Earth, and it would make sense. But Cybertron as a planet doesn't fucking make sense.
No.
None of it.
It's essentially an asteroid.
Right? That's what it should be. But it's got a core that's made of allspark, and they've got rain, but they don't have an atmosphere because they can bounce in and out of space.
Moons. They have moons on Cybertron.
Right. It doesn't make any fucking sense.
Yeah.
You guys are really
So we're talking about Optimus Prime's leadership.
Yeah, whoever thought they were going to hear this and we were just going to be sucking Optimus Prime off. Wrong. We've got problems.
I mean, he's all right for what he did, but...
I mean, he even when you think about how he treated the different bots within the Autobots, I was never okay that he treated the fucking Dinobots like they were stupid. They weren't stupid. They were dinosaur bots. Like, why did he always talk down to Grimlock? He always talked down to Grimlock.
Some of them were a little dumb.
Okay, but you don't have to talk down to them.
I wouldn't. I love dinosaurs. So, a robot dinosaur, gimme. Those are my favorite. They would be my favorites.
Clearly, the Dinobots were like special needs kids, and you should treat them as if they're normal people. Don't talk down to them. And that's what Optimus Prime did.
No. That's probably the best.
Special needs children.
That's the best analogy. The Dinobots were kind of like kids with special needs, which need to be treated with the exact same respect you treat everyone else, although they may learn differently, right?
Yeah.
That's not how Optimus treated them.
Optimus Prime treated him like, oh, well, it's the 80s. And I bet you Optimus Prime calls calls Grimlock the R word behind his back.
Oh,
he does.
I can see that. And then he justifies it because, well, he's Optimus Prime.
I hate it here. I just want everybody to know right now, right here, I hate it.
It's true, though. It's true.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
Starscream clearly says the N-word. Just putting it out there.
Oh, not that he actually said on the show, but you're saying that he would say it.
Once they come to Earth and he realizes there are black people, I guarantee you he says it.
Yikes. I mean, he was talking about cleansing the race, so... On this cartoon that's supposed to be for kids. I'm very confused.
He didn't want the Autobots to merge with them because he didn't want to mix the races.
Face when you say it. Mix the races.
But
I heard it. I was like, what the fuck?
But here's the thing too, because when Bumblebee was like torn between whether or not he wanted to be an Autobot or a Decepticon, it seemed to me that it was just as simple as saying which one you want to be, and then they slap a sticker on you.
So how are
the races different if it's just a sticker? Like, I can literally take my sticker off, and I'm no longer an Autobot,
and you're an unknown again.
What is Starscream talking about?
I don't understand why they had to come up and like scan them up and down. He was like, oh, he's an Autobot. Like, look at his fucking chest. It's like if I got a tattoo on my forehead that said like Christian, and you had one on your head that said Muslim, and they would go, well, what is he? I don't know where his tattoo is.
Well, here's the thing. Like, but you fought with him before. He's a known villain for you. The only person that you should be worried about is Bumblebee because you don't know him. The other one you hate him. You hate him. You were talking about the last time that you guys banged each other. What are you talking about? Ugh,
this cartoon, right? The new cartoon did not do Transformers justice. So anybody that's watching it on Netflix and thinks differently, let us know, because I don't think I'll be coming. Yeah, I don't think I'll be coming back for parts 2 and 3 because I just don't care.
I mean, it's on my queue. I'm probably gonna come back.
Like, if somehow they get to Earth,
they're getting to Earth. That'll be probably the end of like mid-season 2.
Listen, I will get all of the Transformers I need when the world opens back up and I take my happy ass to Universal Studios Florida and ride the Transformer ride 52 times.
Girl, you could do that right now. Universal is very open but very sparse.
It is so empty in there. I legit, Manera was like, but we could just go down for my weekend or the weekend for my birthday. There's no one there. Mask it up, glove it up, get on everything.
Listen, I watch a sidebar for everyone that's like Transformers. No, I watch YouTubers that like go to the different parks. And
do you watch Rick?
No, I watch Prince Charming Dev, and I watch All Access Pass. They're people of color that do it. There's a lot of white people that do it.
Yeah. So you need to send me those because I didn't even realize that they were PSTs. Because there's this very nice little middle-aged white guy named Rick and his wife, and they're super corny. But they literally
What's their last name?
I don't remember. But it's something with Rick. It's like Parks with Rick or some shit like that.
Okay.
And that's how I was keeping track of what was going on with the rides. They couldn't be any whiter if they tried. They seem like very nice, delightful people. They're very corny.
If their last name's Turner, girl, stop watching because okay.
Hold on, I will check. I'll check off when we off air, but I'm not sure if it's Turner.
Yeah.
But I didn't because when I had searched, I wasn't seeing any POCs that did it. So if you've got some, I need them because that's how I've been getting through this pandemic, and my wanderlust is by literally just watching videos of people who are going to, the parks that I want to go to and I can't.
And they go to lodges too, because nobody's going. So they go to the lodges and all those other places.
She's talking about racists?
Huh? Yeah.
Those white people.
No, we don't know.
No.
Listen.
One of the gentlemen that I watch, he had to basically do a story time of how hard it is for a person of color to be in those spaces and doing what he's doing, because people are like, you aren't supposed to be doing this. This isn't really for you, and all those other things.
Really?
Yeah. He's like, you have no idea how much hate I get. And Prince Charming Dev is the nicest. Like, I thought it was fake, but he genuinely is the nicest man. And they were being nasty to his girlfriend who has ALS. We just found out. And
oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, it's a whole lot. Anytime that there's something that white people think is all there.
Yeah, his channel is called Rick's RIX Flix FLIX.
Okay.
But it doesn't like their about doesn't give any like. Yeah, it doesn't give his last name.
Okay. Yeah, then that's not him. Like I said, there are some that are really nice and they intertwine and whatnot, but
they are goofy. Like him and his wife, like I couldn't see myself having a conversation with them outside of anything except like the parks.
Right.
And then he's also a Hufflepuff. So I'm like, all right, well, every time he's in the park, he's showing his Hufflepuff love. So I got to appreciate that. But yeah, so send me those. I'd be very interested. But getting back to the Transformers point,
sorry.
that is where I'm going to get my Transformers, because this show is butt.
Yeah. I'm going to come back because I try and complete things. I'm not coming back to Kangan Ashura.
I'm going to come back because I know it has an end point.
Yeah.
Like, there's 2 other parts and I want to see how the story ends. It's not like this is an ongoing series that I have to keep watching for seasons and seasons. Plus, if the other 2 parts are only 6 episodes apiece.
Yeah.
Also, I did find something that we may need to correct ourselves in our robot bias, because apparently Autobots are a sub-race of Cybertronian. A fictional species of sentient, self-configuring, modular robotic life forms. They are a synergistic blend of biological evolution and technological engineering, which means that the exotic materials that make up their composition is a living metal with a self-replicating cellular structure and genetic code. So all that said, technically they should feel pain.
Well, the way it was talking was very classist when what was his name? The one who died, Impactor, the one who switched, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not an Autobot. I'm my own thing." He was basically called Optimus Prime out. He was like, "Oh, you were up in the high. You weren't in the fucking mines with me and Megatron. You're all sedity up there in the turning into cars and shit. We got to turn into jets so we can fly out of the fucking mines. Fuck you, Optimus Prime."
I love that you said sedity.
He called him out on it though. He was like, "You ain't shit. You're not better than me. You wasn't in the mines. You weren't slanging and banging."
I mean, Megatron said it too, though. Also, I found it interesting.
I have that in my notes as well. Question mark: is Megatron black now? I did notice he talked about basically slavery. They animated his lips a little bit bigger. I was like, Megatron got my lips. That's not cool.
Oh, yikes! But you're not wrong, because in thinking about it, he did have some of the larger lip.
Some luscious lips.
Yeah, he had some puckering. Meanwhile, some of them didn't have mouths. He had them lips.
Optimus Prime didn't have no mouth. He had a flat plate because they were like, "Oh, white people don't have lips, so why would we give Optimus lips? Because he's white."
Wow.
I don't want to take my mic off to drop it because they're expensive mics, but
you really teed up for that one, didn't you?
You've been preparing for this all day, haven't you?
I have. Like I said, I watched all these episodes in a single go, and I took a lot of notes.
Dear Lord. All
You
right.
got anything else?
Yeah, I mean, I think we've made the point that yay, it's great that we're celebrating this character from our childhood, and it's awesome that he has a day, but he kind of fucking sucks and isn't as great as everybody thinks he is. I think that's our general wrap up of Optimus Prime.
All bots matter. Boom. There you go.
Okay, all right, that's enough. Manira, do you have a grab bag? Can we doop 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 over there and get away from all robots matter?
Till all are one. That's basically the robot version of all bots matter. Till all are one.
So we do have a grab bag.
Awesome.
Moving right along. So this comes on our Instagram. It is from the official KB. He says, I don't know if this is still a topic, but here we go, because we're fast and loose. I mean, it's a pandemic. We're currently
we didn't post anything saying what the topic was. Like if you listened to last week's episode, you knew Transformers was.
So thank you, KB, for listening.
Right, and he did, so we appreciate it. He said, I know people aren't going to like this, but Optimus Prime is not a saint robot.
No, he's not.
Preach to the choir, sir. Dude never takes prisoners. He just kills them. Instead.
Also a fair point.
Well, in this version, they were like they made a point to like Optimus Prime when Bumblebee tried to leave, and they were like, "Let's just fucking kill him." They're like, "No, we're not Decepticons."
You're like, but a little bit. He was like, instead of fighting his war on Cybertron, he brought the war to Earth. He endangered kids by bringing them into the battlefield all the time. He sent a message into space telling the soldiers to come to Earth, invading the planet and claiming it for themselves. Okay. No wonder his red, white, and blue. He's red, white, and blue because he is just like America. They didn't.
That's a hot take.
Yeah, I was gonna smooth past it, but I'll let that sit there.
Hot take. Transformers is just an allegory for the Vietnam War. Open your third eye.
I'm gonna close it. They didn't like the way the Decepticons were running things after they won their war, so they decided to go elsewhere and take over. He's not wrong. So thanks, official KB, for that. And I mean, you're not alone. We clearly have some problems with Optimus Prime, as you heard. So thank you for that. And that's my grab bag.
Can we say a shout out to who the real Transformer MVP is?
Oh,
go ahead.
Soundwave. Soundwave is he fights for he picked his side. He's like, I'm Decepticon all the way, but you know what? I'm gonna be the best Decepticon I can be. You need a transmission sent out, Megatron? I got you. You need one of my tapes to pop out and fight for you? I got Rumble. Boom, he's going out. You need Laserbeak? Boom, he's going out. I got him on Recon. He's the best Decepticon there is.
He's definitely the most useful.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That is one of my notes. Soundwave is the most useful Decepticon.
Do you have any more notes that you want to just bring out?
Oh, I got plenty. You want me to go through just the questions?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got, some bots don't have a side, question mark. Bumblebee is not an Autobot. Is Megatron black now? Is Energon like food? Does Wheeljack have robo-cancer? How does a planet made of metal have an atmosphere capable of weather? Is Alpha Trion like Robot Jesus or Robo MLK? Transformer zombies? If the Guardians are so massive, why don't they rule Cybertron? Those are just my questions.
Those are all incredibly valid questions, though. I know we've attempted to answer some of them on this episode. I would ask our listeners, actually, Eric, let's make sure we include those questions in the show notes. If any of you have answers to these questions that are clearly, just bouncing around in poor Eric's head and leaving him in this place of just the unknown. Submit your... shit.
Is Impactor a neo-Nazi?
What?
A reformed neo-Nazi, because he fights for the Decepticons, then he gets injured, and then he joins the Autobots. He's basically like a neo-Nazi who like got a black girlfriend, and now he likes black people.
Oh my god! We're going to post these questions as we wrap this shit show up. You know, I say that a lot. Like, I feel like a lot of our episodes are just shit shows, but none have been more of a shit show than this one.
I'd like to thank Eric for that.
I did the assigned work.
Eric, you have hit an all-time high, my friend.
I presented my case in front of the class.
Not I did the assigned work.
Good job,
If this
Eric.
was a group project, we'd all get a solid C.
Maybe even we might be squeak by with a B- because you
I would give us a
B-.
B minus.
Yeah, because
at the end and go, you forgot the main point. What is an Optimus Prime?
Oh, damn it.
Well, I mean, and I could come up with something off the top of my head, like a bitch. That's what Optimus Prime is.
No, we
all right, guys. Well,
we don't want to go to a D.
Right, we don't want to go to a D. Eric, I'm gonna let you keep that energy. As always. Oh my god. All right, guys.
Just move past it.
We're just keep going. As always, we want to thank you for listening and for watching. Also, really quick apologies for some of the delay that you're experiencing if you're trying to watch the video version. YouTube.
It's not our fault.
Yeah, YouTube in its infinite wisdom has this weird algorithm that flags copyright things. And even though we are, like many other creators on YouTube, sticking to fair use practices, the man don't want to let you shine sometimes. So sometimes it takes us a little longer to get the videos posted. We're trying to get through this. If you listen to the podcast and you think it's funny, you should probably go back and see if the video is there because, well, when you see Eric's face as he talks through many of these things, it's priceless. But we promise you'll start to see them published more closer together in time. So that said, if you like these episodes, whether you're watching them or listening to them, please rate us, subscribe, drop a review, like it, tell your friends, do all of that good stuff. You can also follow us on our social media platforms. We're on Twitter and Instagram. Our handle on both is @ConcentratedPod. Also, next week, we will be doing a review of the new Avengers game, which I'm incredibly excited to be able to play as Kamala Khan. Yay! So we're going to be doing that.
Really good so far.
If you've got any thoughts on the game or any questions, definitely send them to us and we'll try to make sure to get them answered and address them in Nira's grab bag. You can send us those questions or any topics that you'd like us to cover or feedback to our email address, which is concentratedpodcast@gmail.com. Or you can drop us a message on our Facebook page if you're one of the old heads that still uses Facebook. Our page is Concentrated Podcast. And lastly, you can leave us a voicemail if you'd like. The number is 301. Is it 431 or 531? It's 531, right? 531. All right. 301. Thank you, producer guy. 301-531-4393. What'd you say? You said I'm unprofessional?
Just move past it.
Again, that phone number is 301-531-4393.
I did want you to say 431. But you were like, again. I was like, oh no, she said it wrong.
No.
But you did it good.
I did it good. Yeah. So that is it for this week, guys. We'd also remind you that we will have our next episode of the joint podcast regarding Lovecraft Country on our Futurist Science Fiction Club podcast that we do with From the Canopy. That should be up, I think, either Wednesday or Thursday. So you can get
usually up by Wednesday. This week will be on ours, so it'll definitely be Wednesday.
Cool. So you can get your regular Concentrated fix when you hear this, and then you can follow right up if you're watching Lovecraft Country, and if you're not, you should be. And also, it's getting wild. And I know that the video for that is actually on the From the Canopy network, so you can find them on YouTube as well, and we're on there. And yeah, I think that's it for this week, right? Miss anything?
That's all
right.
No.
Peace. Bye, guys. See you next week.
No, wash your hands.
Oh, wait, I almost forgot. Wash your fucking hands, wear your mask, make sure your mask is covering your mouth and your nose. And your nose. It's both. This right here. Not just your mouth, and then you're just
Bane. Like
yes.
Bane's mask, boom. You're covering all of this.
I'm going to talk like that now.
All day long.
Whenever I have my mask on.
You just talk like Bane. Yeah. guys, do it. The sooner you guys do that, the sooner we can all start getting back. Yeah, stop spreading the droplets. The sooner we can get to normalcy. And just don't be dirty. Wash your fucking hands. Bye, guys.
Will not save you.
Bye.